yeah, AMA section, which states that you can ask me anything, right? Anything that you might be having challenges with, any area, anywhere that you probably want me to help you with some clarity or some more understanding. Maybe it's something that you just come across, right? That you are trying to understand better. You might ask me, I might help you dig deeper into it. Or maybe it's something that I have talked about before now that you probably need me to elaborate more, right? Sometimes when I teach,
Oh, okay.
I touch on some areas that I'm usually not able to go deep into it. So if there are any of those areas that you probably want me to elaborate more on, just let me know.
Oh,
Okay.
my question is not really about what you have said before, but it's
Okay.
outside of what you have said before. Can I go ahead?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, now as a designer, after the learning process, how do you and you want to start as a freelancer? How do you source for your clients?
Okay. So after you have learned design and you have mastered the art and you want to set out as a freelance designer,
Yeah.
how do you get clients? Well, basically there are a couple of ways to do this, right? And if you are just starting out, like myself, it is basically by first of all letting the people around you, the people close to you, letting them know that okay, yeah, this is what you do, right? The people close to you. And the thing is this is that people who are close to you are not they are not actually really your clients per se, because most of the times people who are very close to you are not the ones that are going to pay you the kind of money that you really need to make. However, if you are just starting out and your aim is to start this freelance um career and build yourself through it and become more professional at it. Let's say, for instance, you just learned graphic design and you need to practice, right? You need to practice for some time in order for you to even get better, understand how to work with clients and how to work with brief. It is better for you to let people around you know, your friends, your family, your neighbors, or just people on your contact list, like on your WhatsApp and everything. Post on your WhatsApp regularly. Let people know that this is what you do. So what is going to happen in that case is that you're going to get people, right, who are going to, like, you are going to start getting jobs from these people. So the only thing is that it is not, you are not guaranteed to make enough money from it. That is the thing when you are working for just people you know and people who know you alone, right? You are not guaranteed to make enough money from it. However, you are guaranteed to develop yourself right through that process. So there are stages to the stages of design. There is a stage called the passion stage, right? In the passion stage, we are literally not really so much about what's it called, about money, and that also has to do with pricing and branding yourself as a designer. But starting out also as a freelancer, you are going to need to first of all let people who are very close to you know about it. So once you have been able to do that successfully, you have been able to, like, you have built your confidence, you have built enough expertise and professionalism in what you do. Now you want to start attracting more clients, bigger clients, real clients, because I won't lie to you, those who are close to you, many most of the time they are not really real clients. Many of them are just there for you to be able to develop yourself, right? For you to be able to practice, for you to be able to become better at what you do. So those who are really going to pay your money, you know, many of them are not within your vicinity. They are not within your vicinity. They are outside. Hello, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
All
can
right,
go
all
ahead.
right. So those are the people who are going to pay you well. The people outside your immediate environment or your immediate contacts. So now, how do you now attract those people, right? There are still a couple of ways to it, right? Is But the best way that I believe that one can do it is to start displaying their expertise. To start displaying your expertise, to start, what's it called? To start putting stuff out on the social media, especially, right? Once you have used the the first period of time that you have been working with all these people who are close to you, you have used them to practice, you have used them to develop a quality portfolio, right? So once you have your portfolio in place, then you start positioning yourself. You start positioning yourself for the type of client that you want to attract. For the type of client that you want to attract. While you are, what's it called? While you are at the stage of practicing and developing your portfolio also, right? It will be nice for you to start looking towards area that you would want to specialize in, because that is what will make it easier for you to attract a particular set of clients. But specialization does not necessarily mean that you want to be doing just one thing, but it only means that you want to be known for, for a particular thing. You can still do every other thing,
Sure.
but you want to be known for a particular thing. So that will also help you attract people better. It will help you attract the people better. So once you have a good portfolio, right, you start putting yourself out there, be on social media, right? What's it called? And create some make sure you are regularly putting stuff and people can see you. And what's it called? Most importantly, you are creating content that are valuable, that can make people see you as someone that knows what he is doing, someone that understands what he is doing, someone that really knows what he's doing, and someone that is an expert in a particular area of graphic design. Even though you can still do so many other things, but they know you specifically for this particular thing. Like myself now, when I just started, right, I used to do so many things. But one thing that many people know me for back then was music art cover designs. Right, I used to create a lot of art cover for music artists because I myself, I'm a music artist. So every other music artist, whenever they want to drop their song, many of them usually come to me to create their own music art cover designs. Back then, even though as at then I was not really intentional about specializing, but that was my area of specialization then, right? However, later on I moved to brand identity design. So currently, many other people who know me now, they know me as a brand identity designer, right? Logo design, packaging design, brand identity design as a whole. However, that's not the only thing I do. I do so many other things too. But when if you are going to address me, now you're going to address me, or if I'm going to address myself, I'm going to address myself as a brand identity designer. So that allows me to attract more of people who are looking for brand identity designer. But when they come in, when they need flyer design, I'm still going to do it for them. When they need poster design, I'm still going to do it for them. When they need motion graphics, I'm still going to do it for them. But they know me with one thing. Think of what's it called? There's this lady. If you know this lady in NGD, Juliet, she's an illustrator. But it does not mean that when she gets a client and they need other things, she's still going to take those projects. Is it that she executes it herself, or she collaborates with someone else, maybe someone like me or uh, another identity designer that she's going to collaborate with in order to get that job done, right? That is what freelance, that is how specialization works. However, one can still start out as a generalist, but the only thing is that being a generalist, it is going to be hard for you to get high paying clients
Sir?
as a generalist. So what I was just trying to say there is that it's not really a bad idea to be a generalist, right? The only thing is that being a generalist does not guarantee that you get a high paying client. What's it called? Specializing also does not fully guarantee that you always get high paying clients. However, it is easier to land high paying clients when you are specialized than when you are a generalist, right? When you are a generalist, it means you are everywhere, and some clients they are really, if you most of these high paying clients, they are usually looking for specific, like they are usually very specific about what they want. So when they see you that you are doing everything, and they see someone else that is only doing that thing that they need, they rather go for that person rather than coming to someone that is doing everything. That is for high paying clients. But mostly for low paying clients, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care if you are doing everything, or they don't even care if aside from design you are doing plumbing or anything. They don't care. Just give them what they want, right? That is it for low paying clients. But for high paying clients, they usually have very strong taste, and they usually take their time to vet who they hire for their design projects. So which is why it is good to specialize. However, it is also not good to specialize too early. So depending on when you are starting, right? What's it called? I remember Tola Alabi shared how he said he spent 7 years in his passion stage, right? He said he spent 7 years in his passion stage before he later moved to purpose stage, right? Before he later moved to purpose stage. So passion stage is where you do most of your work that you don't really care too much about the money like that, right? You just want to build expertise, you want to build a portfolio, you want to do as much as you can. So in that stage, you can still be a generalist. But when you start moving to purpose stage, when you want to start making money, right? You want to start making some cool cash. Like it's not just about the passion anymore. Now, this time around, it is also about the money, right? It's also about, well, what's it called? The impact you are also making with what you do. So that time you need to start specializing. You need to look for a particular area that you really love to work with, or a particular area that you would love to help people solve problem better, and specialize to that niche. So that is how you can easily get clients, and by displaying your expertise, right, on social media, on what's it called, different social media platforms. And you must have had a good portfolio, right, with you before you start thinking of attracting high paying clients, or clients whatsoever, any form of clients whatsoever, right? In this age, it is easier for you to get clients when you put yourself out there. When you put yourself out there, when you make yourself part of um design communities as well, right? When you're part of design communities, what happens sometimes is that people are usually vetted, right? People are usually vetted within design communities. I know of a couple of times that I have sent out inquiries to get people to work with me on some projects inside design communities, right? So sometimes too, as a freelancer, when you are a part of design community, there is a likelihood that you will get opportunities to be invited to collaborate with other people on their projects, right? So design communities, having a good portfolio. I mean, even when you even for the design community or for anywhere, your portfolio is going to speak for you, right? It's going to speak for you in a way. Even though I really don't think that portfolio is enough, right? I don't think that it's just about having a good portfolio or whatever, right? It's also about what's it called? It's also about understanding how to communicate your own values, how to how to communicate what you can do, what you can bring to the table beyond the aesthetics, beyond, for me, what has really worked for me better, honest, to be very honest with you guys, if you look out there, there really is no a lot of my work is not out there, oh, guys. I don't really post too much of my works out there. Well, how do I get jobs? Someone will be wondering, like, how does this guy get job? If you look all the design community, NGD or whatever, although there used to be a time that I usually post on NGD too, sha, but my post is not really really that frequent. And since before the end of 2020, I stopped posting on any what's it called, any design community like that, right? And but one thing I sure do is that I make myself known, and I make sure that everyone that come across me sees that I know what I'm doing, sees that I know what I'm talking about. They can see it through me. They can see the way I carry myself, the way I present myself, and the way I do whatever it is that I do. Everyone can see that I know what I'm doing. That is what displaying your expertise is all about, right? I mean, there are people who even just come and consult me. Like they don't literally work with me, but due to the kind of information I've been putting out, due to the way I've been positioning myself, if some people just enter my DM and they'll start to consult me on this and that, right? And that is all I just get to do for them, and they will just appreciate me for it. Even though what's it called, consultation costs a lot of money at times, right? But what usually happens most of the time is that when they come in and they consult me and I give them all these advices, I tell them what to do, what not to do, what to do, what not to do, and everything, and they go. What happens is that is it that they themselves come back and bring me job, or they refer someone else to me? Because think about it. When you consult me and I give you something that works, and you want to do that same thing, you literally don't want to think of any other person other than me to help you handle it. And if you have someone else that wants to do something of such as well, you will know it will be hard for you to think of any other person other than me, because I have made you see that I know what I'm doing. And that's just it. So I have built trust and authority, and that is what I am eating. That is what I'm eating, right? So it's not really that much about portfolio. There are people who have beautiful portfolio everywhere than I do, that they are still struggling to get jobs. They are still struggling with 2K, right? They are still begging clients to pay them 5K, right? So although if you are starting out, I'm not saying, please don't go and be saying that first say that you don't need portfolio. Don't don't go and copy me, oh, please. Oh. Take your portfolio very, very important. Take it very, very important. But one thing that you want hack, one simple hack that I can also give you for portfolio is to create case studies, right? Don't just post images. Don't just post images of what you do or whatever. Write something there. Tell people how you came across, how you came about the idea, the problem you solve, right? As in the problem that was, what's it called, that was up before you were contacted for a particular project, and what's it called, the solution you brought, the solution that this your design has brought to that table, right? The value, let people really see the value in what you are doing specifically. Let them see what that value is. So at the end of the day, it's not just about the beautiful design that you are posting, right? It is about the problem you are solving with that design. Everyone that, if you guys have paid enough attention to me, you will know that I care so much more about the problem that you solve with the design than how beautiful or stunning the design itself looks. And that is just me for you. And I believe if we can all learn to do things that way, our lives will be much more easier. So take your portfolio seriously, but most importantly, learn how to communicate the value that comes with what you do, because that is what will stand you out. That is what will, that is that thing that you can use to fight, to compete with others. Because today almost everyone is good now. You go on the internet, you see some mad designs, you'll be like, oh boy, who be this one again? Right? So almost everyone is good now. So it's just all these little things that would set you apart, that will that and then you'll be able to, and then the clients will be able to make that informed decision of, okay, I think aside from just knowing how to design, this person also know how to solve problem with design, right? So that's just it. That's just the thing. Most of the clients, many clients, when they come to me, they'll be like, you know what? It's not really just about what you create, but you seem like you just know what you are doing in general, and that's just it. People, you just have to you have to position yourself as someone who knows what he is doing, someone who really understand this whole thing. So beyond the design, right, beyond the artistic, right, side of what you do, what else comes with it? So I hope I hope that helped you in some way, right? Being a freelancer, and how you can get clients. Basically, that's what we're talking about. How you can get clients. So I have said it that you need to first of all build your portfolio, build your expertise, and then display it. Display your expertise. Put yourself out there. Put your word out there. Let people see what you can do, and most importantly, how it can help them solve problem. So what's it called? Even on your social media channels too, it shouldn't just be about you posting your works on your social media channel, right? You should also put out information about what you do. You should also put out some informational content, some educational content, right? That your clients, when they first of all land on your Instagram page, right, they can see things that give them some form of information, right? That educates them in a way. Like for instance, now people who believe that, what's it called? They believe that 3D mockup is a logo. You can talk about that on your page, right? Let them see the reason why 3D mockup is not a logo. Let them see the function, right? The purpose of a mockup. What is the difference between a mockup and a logo, right? What is the difference? All those stuff, right? You can also do design critique, right? Bad design versus good design. What makes a bad design? What makes a good design? Talks about the principles of design. Talk about the things that your clients can come to your page and say that, okay, this person does not really it's not just about it's not just as if this person just know how to design. This person really understand the concepts of design, right? Talk about color psychology and how it can help people's business on your page, right? When they come, right, when they land on someone else's page and all they see is their beautiful design, and then they land on your own page, aside from the designs that they can see, they can also see some things that can teach them something, that can keep them informed. So they will instantly ascribe more authority to you than the other person. Mind you, that other person might actually know how to design more better than you do. But because you have learned how to communicate, you know, not just what you do, but the problem what you do is going to solve for them. You have been able to communicate that as well. They will trust you more than they trust that person, and that is how you can easily get clients. As a matter of fact, high ticket clients. And I'm going to close on that. So let me move on to the next person. Raphael, it's me. All
Can you
right.
hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. My question is, we can ask anything in general, right?
Yeah, yeah. Anything that has to do with design, shall don't go and ask me about body
Okay.
and Nepal.
No problem, sir. Well, my major question is because somebody once told me recently that getting ideas from works that pros has done can reduce your creativity level. So I'm asking, in a situation whereby you don't want to go to works of other pros to check out and generate ideas, how do you feel that you can come up with ideas of your own? How can you birth your own idea? Like let's take for example, That was recently. I was trying to make a logo. I think that was 2 days back or so. I was trying to make a design, and it was it was really very hard because that creative block stuff happened to me. So I couldn't really get anything at that moment until I had to think, search, ask some people. So what I'm saying is that aspect of generating your idea, your own idea. How do you get, like, how do you come up with something?
Okay, okay. That's a beautiful question though. But what's it called? You said someone told you that it is bad to get ideas
No,
from other
no,
people's
no.
work.
The person didn't say it's bad, like really bad. Like the person just put it. Okay, let me put it the way the person put it. The person said
Okay.
it reduces your creativity level. Like it's more like you're copying people's stuff like that. So it's like it reduces your level of creativity, like getting your own from scratch.
Okay.
Like it reduces how you can do
Okay.
that.
This is it. This is it. Right? Um
Okay. Yes,
let's
sir.
let's first of all understand the concept of generating ideas, right? Ideas don't just fly
Okay.
around. Ideas don't just fly around. Ideas come from something ideas come from something that you already have somewhere within you, right? There's something called idea bank, right? Take for instance now your bank account. If you don't put money in your bank account, will you go there and withdraw money? Prosper.
No, sir.
Exactly. So the same way we have financial bank accounts, we also have idea banks. So basically, what does idea bank do is that you see when we go around, when we look at designs, when we look at different designs, when you go on social media or you are just walking by, you are just looking at designs, what you are doing is that you are building your idea bank. You are building your idea bank. So, which is why it is better, it is good for you to consume good designs more than you consume bad designs, right? It will favor you more to consume good designs more than you consume bad designs. Because when you consume good designs, when you look at the design that professionals has done from time to time, when you yourself want to create your own design, all you have to do is go inside your idea bank and pick an idea. You would never create exactly what someone else has created unless it is your intention to create exactly what someone else has created. If your intention is to create your own masterpiece, you are going to bank on other people's idea. The thing is this: many people, when we talk about something new, we usually think that something new is something that comes from heaven. Like maybe you just go and pick your own this your own idea, you just go and pick it from heaven. No. What is the definition of new? New is basically a remix of an old thing, right? It's just like something that already existed done in a new way. That is the definition of new. So to now say that looking at other people's design reduces your creativity, I don't subscribe to that. As a matter of fact, I believe it helps you build your creative bank. It helps you build your idea bank, right? It helps fuel your creativity. What happens is that originality is what you are going to need, right? You are going to make sure that your own idea, there is something inside of it that makes it original, right? Like when you create your own idea, there is something that makes it original. Forget about it. There is always going to be some level of similarity with from what you do with what other people are doing. as long as you guys are following the same principles, right? I mean, there are some form of designer that people are just breaking rules up and down, right? Those are some new style of design that the idea is just to break the design rules, right? So just to go against the design principles. You will see that those ideas, they seem very, very new. They seem very, very weird and out of place. So maybe that might be a very new thing. But if we are going to follow the basic, the existing principles of graphic design, right? What you are going to strive for is originality. It's not necessarily a brand new idea, right? It is originality. And what happens also is that when you look at enough designs, when you look at different professional designs, you can connect concepts, you can connect ideas, like pick an idea from here, steal from. I mean, there's something. What's it called? I'm coming. There's this thing called steal like an artist. Stealing like an artist. They said a thief steal from one source, but an artist steal from different sources, right? An artist steal from many sources. So you are supposed to steal from like an artist by looking at different design pieces, different design concepts, different design ideas, combining them together, reverse engineering them, and coming up with your own new and original idea out of that. So it's not totally bad to look at other people's design. As a matter of fact, I believe it's going to favor you in the long run, because it's going to give you, a path to follow and something to, to lean on, something to bank on. And all you just have to do is to be original with what you do, right? Put your own originality on it. Like for instance now, if you look at, if you are someone that is, what's it called, that is a little bit versed or familiar with the music industry, I'm just going to use an example of, what's it called, the Afrobeat instrumentals, right? Is the major ones are usually two percussion styles. You usually hear pa 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 pa, or you hear pa 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 pa. Those are the two basic percussion styles. But almost every producer, those are the basic percussion style that everyone is using. But how come the music are sounding different? Every time you listen to this music, they are sounding different. Is because the producers were able to put their own originality on it. You cannot come and say that you want to go against those basic principles, except for definitely if you want to play trap music, you want to play some, foreign R&B or something. But if you want to play Afro beats, you want to play high life, you want to play something that we can easily resonate with right here, you have to follow the basics. So similarly, if you are following the basic principles of design, you are still going to be, you are still going to be within the space of those ideas. There is no brand new idea per se, but there is an original idea, right? You can bring out something more original, right? Something different, right? That is where creativity comes in. That is where originality comes in. But to say that having to look at other people's design kills your own creativity. No, it doesn't. It does not kill your creativity in any way. However, if you are not, if only you don't, the only thing that if you are not careful, you find yourself replicating other people's design. That is what you don't want to do. You only want to be inspired by other people's design. You do not want to replicate their design. You want to use those designs to inspire you, right? To make you think. So what happens basically, how you can utilize your idea bank basically, is that when once you see all of this design, you don't just go and admire the design, right? When you see it, definitely by all means admire it, praise the design or praise the designer, but be curious about it. Be curious to analyze the design, like what they did, how they did it. If you were to be the one to do it, what would you do? How would you what way would you have done it? Or what would you have done differently? The same way when you see a bad design, don't just go and start saying, which kind of design videos or whatever. By all means, criticize the design, but most importantly, analyze it. Look at it and say, okay, what was this designer thinking when he was creating this design? What would I have done differently, and what result would I have achieved with it? That is how you utilize, you know, looking at other people's design. That is how you take advantage of looking at other people's design and looking at, their idea, because that way you are training your own brain to be more original, to do something better or something different with that same idea. And that's just how it works. I hope that is helpful. Prosper.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, Raphael, you can go now.
How do I like go about that to present myself as a brand identity designer? Meanwhile, they used to know me as normal, maybe flyer, banner, all of those things.
Okay, so
Okay,
your two
so
question is
your two
actually one
question is
though.
actually one.
Your first question says that you're having challenges landing high paying clients. Your second question says that you are currently having difficulties specializing, or rather positioning yourself as, as a specialist in a particular area of graphic design. The niche is actually one of the problems, right? Keeping you away from landing high paying clients, right? Looking at it, to land high paying clients, it is easier to land high paying clients when you are specialized. So now, the thing now is, you have decided to specialize, but how do you position yourself in a way that, people can really see you as someone who is specialized in this particular area of graphic design? So it's like I have said earlier, right? It has to speak in your portfolio. Do you have more brand design projects in your portfolio, Raphael?
Okay, I'm taking note of that. I don't really have much, but I do.
Okay. So first of all, you want to have enough brand projects, brand design projects, brand identity design projects in your portfolio. And beyond having brand identity design, creating logos and everything, you need to break it down. That is the thing. Brand identity design, you need to break it down. You need to write out the full case study. What's it called? If you are if I'm going to be the one to hire you, right, for a design project, even though I also appreciate designers who do case studies of their projects, I might still hire you. I might still look beyond case study or whatever, and just look at how good your aesthetics are and how you are able to present your project, right? But if you are working with a client or even some bigger design agencies, they might be looking for, what's it called, the case studies before they can hire you, because writing case studies of your project means that you understood the problem that you needed to solve, and you understood the solution you brought to it. Like, it's basically stating out the problem and the solution you provided to that problem using your own, using that particular design. But what happens most of the time is that, because it happens, I get people to send me their portfolio many times. So when I just land there, all I get to see,
Exactly.
all I get to see is just, mock-ups. When we talk about presentation, mostly many people think it's just about mock-ups. Just see beautiful mock-ups, quite all right, right? It is beautiful, but what's it called? Many times it's going to put you at a disadvantage when you are competing with someone who writes a very clearly detailed case study for their project, right? So first of all, you want to, what did I say? You want to have more brand identity design projects in your portfolio. And it's not just that you just want to put mock-ups and beautiful aesthetics there. You want to write a very detailed case study for that project, right? Stating out the problem and stating out the solution, the challenges, and how you overcome the challenges, right? As it even go as far as including the client's feedback after the project, right? It go as far as mentioning the people you have to collaborate with, mentioning the people you have to bring on board, mentioning the things you have to do in the process, and so many things. Basically, telling the story, right? Because every project you do is a story. Every project you do is a story. What's it called? When I remember in my graphic design course, I was using a case study of clients that I had worked with that I had challenges with. I was using it. Those of you guys who are taking my course would testify to that. I use those experiences to teach you guys on how to deal with clients, what to expect, and how to set expectations for them. Right. So when I am working with clients, I pay attention to every single thing that is happening. And when I want to write case studies, those are the things that will be involved in my case studies, right? The only thing is that me, I don't have a lot of things up out there, but I will try and do something. I believe I have about one or two stuff on Behance, right? That I can send to you guys, even though the case study is not exclusively detailed, but it's something that can get you going, right? Something that it is a good place to start and build on. Maybe we'll do a separate class on presentation and case study, writing case studies for your portfolio separately. But that's what's it called. But spending that time also, you can go on Google and search for how to write, good case studies for your project, right? So beyond case studies usually is for your portfolio site like Behance and everything. Case study, what's it called? The way you write case study on social media like Instagram and everything is different, right? It's different because all those platforms, normally people are not really there to read. They are mostly there to see things, to watch things, and whatever. However, you can still manipulate those platforms in a way that you can provide some educational content that can give you some level of authority over other designers on that platform. So what can you do in that regard? And I believe that many people has actually been doing this. So you want to position yourself as a brand designer, someone that can help people create logo, that can help them come up with brand tagline, brand value proposition, or help them come up with their brand personality, and so on and so forth. What you have to do is to create content around that. Create content around those things. Either carousel, either it's going to be video content, and either it's going to be whatever. Create content around the things you do, right? Create content about the problem is going to help them solve, right? Why they need certain things, right? And create content about an example of brands that have used certain things and the result they have gotten from it, right? That is the kind of content that can help people see, right, who you are and what you do exactly. So, and that would probably drive them to want to see more. And then when they click on the link in your bio or anywhere else that your link is, and then they get to your portfolio, they see all the beautiful work that you have done, and they see that you take your time to clearly write them a what's it called, a case study, right? A case study, that what's it called, it's a case actually. To write a very good case study, you need some copywriting skills though, right? What's it called, people also hire copywriters to help them write case studies. All you have to do is to give them the necessary information that they need, and they will help you write a clearly detailed case study, right? There is a form of storytelling concept that is inside. Like case study is something that when someone is reading, it will look as if they are sitting in front of you and you are narrating a story and your experience to them. So it kind of gives them a clear vision, a clear idea of what you are doing. And at that point, they are not just looking at your design, right? That is it. That is the idea of creating design beyond art. Those are the things that you will do that will not make people care about how beautiful your design is or the software you use and the likes. So basically, it's about the portfolio, using the case studies right, creating the right content for social media, creating the right content for social media, understanding the kind of people you want to attract. What's it called? Um, there is there is also a sub niche inside niche, right? So the way you are niching to the brand identity design area of graphic design, inside that niche there is still a niche. We still have so many niche, right? You can still decide that you want to niche down to the fashion industry, like your own service. You want to provide your service for fashion designers, or you want to provide your own service for fintech companies, right? For financial organizations, or what's it called, or for food businesses. As those are still niche inside niche. So, and the more you can niche down, the more you can narrow down, the easier it's going to be for you to land, to first of all attract clients, and to also land high paying clients, especially when you are a freelancer, right? When you are still a, what's it called, an agency, you probably still have the ability to attract a broader range of clients, because you are an entity, you are an organization that probably have, what's it called, more people to work and execute projects. So that is it. Clients will see you when you are an agency. They'll be like, okay, yeah, you probably have more people to work with you to execute projects from different angles, compared to when you are a freelancer and you say you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. People might be skeptical about giving you their job, because they will feel like you are just everywhere, so you might not be able to really focus on something per se. So depending on what you want for yourself, right? If you try those things, you should see changes. You will no, it's not a matter of you should see changes. You will see changes, right? People has done it, it has worked. I personally have done these things and it has worked for me. So basically it's going to work for you when you do it right. So I hope that has helped to an extent, Raphael.
Yes, it has done. Sorry, it does.
Okay.
Okay, so after the whole process of what do you call it, of the designing stuff, so now you want to do your portfolio. Is it advisable to create a manual portfolio, like, or a digital portfolio? Like now, I'm a graphic designer for a printing press, and I'm also a product designer for a fintech company. So I'm trying to create my portfolio. So, and I'm using Behance, right? But
Okay.
I'm also creating a folio for as a graphic designer, which I want to leave the world of graphic designer, then niche down to branding and product designer. So I'm asking, is it good for me to use a digital platform for my portfolio? Whereas they asked for, okay, now I'm applying for a brand design job, and I'm giving them my portfolio link in Behance. That means they will also see my link as a product designer. Is that right?
What's it called? What's it called? So you mean on your Behance profile, on your Behance this thing, you have both brand design and product design projects there. Is that what you are saying?
Yes, Yes,
And
yes.
but where do you are you looking at niching down
Yeah, I'm looking at niche down,
to
but
which area
you know,
specifically?
my area of niching down fine is product designing actually, but product designing also entails you branding in a way.
No, it does not matter if it entails you branding or not. If
But
there
my
is
niche down,
branding, no, if there is branding inside product design, it is still product design. Sure, you
oh okay, okay.
understand. So,
Yeah, my niche down is for plus product designing. That's what I
so
want to niche down.
do you have more product design projects on your portfolio or brand design projects?
I have brand more of brand design projects.
Yeah, definitely. When someone lands on that page, they will think that you are more of a brand designer, and product design is just something else that you are just doing by the side.
Okay,
Sure, you
okay.
understand. As opposed
Oh,
to if you have more product design projects there, if you have more product design projects than brand design projects, one will feel like, okay, I think mainly this person is a product designer, but he also does brand design in case we might need his brand design services in some other areas too. Sure, you understand. That is how
oh,
people think. So that is basically how that works. So if you have more of, if they see you doing more of something, they believe that is your area of specialization. That's just it.
oh, okay, okay. Thank you.
All right. Prosper.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, sir. I have two questions. My number
Okay.
one question is what is a case study in design? What is case study? That's one. Two, the when making a logo design process, like those pros now, they explain their logo design process, how they came up with the idea, about the brand, stuff like that. Now that logo design process, does it come like do you write it as you are working? Like as you're adding the element, you're writing it down that okay, this is the reason why I'm adding this element. Or after you have finished the full design and you're satisfied, then you start picking them one after the other and explaining them to your own taste.
Okay. Let me take the last question first because it ties to the first question.
Okay,
So
sir.
about the logo design process and the way it's usually being, explained in the presentation. Basically, if you follow the process of logo design, there is a process that you need to follow when you are creating logos. After the client contacts you, after you get the brief, right? There are different steps that you need to take, right? I believe we did a particular episode there where I shared my 6 steps logo design process, right? How I from like it's about 6 steps that I personally follow for my in my own like my logo design process. So if you follow all of those steps, there is every step, right? Every step is automatically being documented for you if you follow that step, right? There is usually documentation in every step, right? What's it called? The way you generate ideas, the way when you're sketching your ideas and everything, that is one step, and it's going to be documented. Once it is documented, after the whole this thing, you need to now explain that process, how you came up with the idea, right? How you came up with that concept, what it means to that brand, what it's how does it relate with what you are trying to communicate, right? That is what is usually that is what usually goes on in that aspect, because there is a process for logo design, right? Once you follow that process, at the end of it, you also state how you go from step one to step two to step three, how you arrive at a particular stage. And similarly, a case study, right, is now something a little, it's not even a little, it's something bigger than that, right? It's something similar but bigger than that. So after you have shared how you made what's it called the decision, well, how you made your decision for typography, how you made decisions for the color schemes, how you made the decision for the marks, for okay, which logo style should we use, how you make decision for so many things. Well, how you came up with mood board and everything. You now explain why you did all of that. First of all, you first of all, the case study, like I said earlier, is basically to help people, right, see through everything you have created, to help them see through everything you have created. Like reading it, they can fully understand from A to Z the problem the problem that you had, right? That the clients brought to you, and the solution. How have you been able to take? Well, how has that? How has your work or your that project been able to take that business or whatever from point A to point B? That case study is supposed to tell you, it's supposed to tell your reader or your viewer, supposed to tell them all of that. That is the essence of case study, right? Many people don't use case study because they feel like it's not compulsory. Yeah, definitely it's not compulsory, and it is extra work, but then it will guarantee you more jobs and higher paying clients. It might not, it might not necessarily be more jobs, because more jobs does not necessarily mean more money, right? Like I have done less, I have worked with less clients than I have worked with when I just started design, but I have made more money doing less than I made when I was doing a lot of work. Sure, you understand? So it's about attracting quality people. It is only quality clients who really want something extraordinary, who are going to spend time reading your case study and contact you at the end of the day. Many of these low paying clients, they don't even have time to read. They'll be like, what is this one saying? Right? They don't even want to spend time to read. Right? They are not ready for it. They just want any small 5K or 2K mock up that people are calling logo for them. And that's just it. So, but if who you want to attract is those higher paying clients, you have to do the things that those who are working with those higher paying clients are doing. Sure, you understand? And that's that's just the this thing. So similarly, I tried to explain to Raphael the other time that the case study is not just on portfolio websites alone. There is a way that you can do it also on social media pages. What's it called? You can use your case study as a carousel, right? Your case study, like explain the problem that came up, that you were contacted for, the problem the solution you brought, how you brought that solution, and how it's changed the face of that business in a carousel. And you know, when you are creating a carousel, you can still make it a little bit more attractive and can do it with some level of storytelling techniques that will make it more interesting than when someone is just reading it on your page. So basically, that's just how that works. Yeah.
Okay, so if I get you correctly, in essence, you are saying that case study is from the beginning how the clients contacted you, all the things, all the information you got, down to when you
Why they
started your
contacted you?
process.
Not that you go and say, yeah, I was sitting down one day and I received a call or I received an email. No, basically, no. It's going to be like why they contacted you. Like, okay,
Okay.
let's say for instance now, Video Ninja is a kinikan company. Let's say Video Ninja is an audio visual company, right? And what's it called? But they have a a brand identity that does not literally represent their brand. That is the problem, right? Or they just changed their name, or they just rebrand, or they just improve something, they just change something in their business, right? That is a problem. So they needed to upgrade their brand identity in order to reflect their new personality and what they stand for now. So that is the problem. So you Prosper, Prosper was then contacted, or Prosper was there. What is this English that we normally use? Self, Chai, I don't forget. I beg. But basically, sha, like they contacted you to help them solve that particular problem. Now, how did you solve the
Okay.
so now how did you solve that problem? So what are the things you do? First of all, you have to ask them questions, right? So we be like, okay, so I asked them questions, I spoke with their team, I spoke with their creative director, I do this, I do that. So after those sections, I got some kind of, yeah, I got this information, I got that information, I got that information. So I use those information to do research. I research their target audience, I research their, their competitors, I research their industry, I did research on this, I did research on that. After my research, I got these results. So you see those stages. So after those
Okay.
results, so I use those results to now do this, and that, to make this decision, to make that decision, to make that decision. And at the end of everything, this was the solution I was able to create for them. And that solution was able to take them from point A to point B. And this was the feedback gotten from the clients after the project. See,
Okay.
basically
So I think
that is how a case study is supposed to go. Yeah, basically that is how it's supposed to go.
okay. Okay, so I think what you're looking for was higher, Dabi.
No, it's not hired. It's not
Okay.
hired, Jerry.
All right.
I've
No problem.
forgotten.
Okay, I think I will give room for the other guy. Let him ask because I also need to ask a question. But let me give room to him. Let him ask as well.
All right, Raphael.
Okay, bro. My question is this. Most of time, because I've attended some kind of classes on logo design, and what I was made to know was that what logo is meant to be should be iconic in the sense that it shouldn't be um, cumbersome. All these 3D, they are old style of logo designing, and your logo should be able to work perfectly well on black and white. So, which means, first of all, when you design a logo, it must be able to appear well on black and white background. So for that reason, most of the times, if I design logo, I usually leave it as white and black. So now, if I now want to, because I use Illustrator for logo for my logo design. So if I now want to apply color now, I used to have problem. I don't know why. Because once I create a document, I usually leave it as default color settings, which is CMYK. So I don't know how to navigate my way through the choosing of color when it comes to branding now.
Okay. Now the thing is this. What's it called? The Using colors in Illustrator. Mostly, I usually advise that if you're having difficulties selecting colors or changing the colors of your projects in Illustrator, what you can do is this. If this thing, your presentation, right? The reason you want to add color to it is mostly because of, so that you can present it and you can put it on social media for people to see, to show your clients, right?
Yes, exactly.
So if you create the logo itself in Illustrator, you can what's it called? You can move the file, right? You can then move it to Photoshop. So one thing is this, you see, Photoshop actually generally makes things pop better than Illustrator, Corel Draw, or whatever, right? So the actual goal of Illustrator, for me, that I believe, is to help you get that vectorized version of your logo, right? That is the vector. And mostly, if you are going to need that vector, you are mostly going to need it in either CMYK, or what's it called, in, I'm coming up. If you need it in large format printing, for instance, right, it's going to be in CMYK. So it's already in CMYK. When you already set the default um color mode for the Illustrator to CMYK, that is the default color. So you can easily export it as ESP, or maybe SVG, and you can use it on any large format software that you want to use this for. But if you are going to need it for social media or for a website or for anything, what you are going to have to do is take it from that Illustrator, take it to Corel Draw, right? Apply colors to it. You can render the black and white, that black and white as what's it called? As ESP or SVG. So it is still black and white. So when you render it as ESP or SVG, they can still take it to any other program and still enlarge it to any size at all and add any form of color that is needed to be added to it. Sure, you understand what I'm saying? So when you take it from Illustrator, you take it to Corel Draw, you still have the version, you still have that Illustrator version, but you take it to Corel Draw to do your presentation, to add colors to it because what's it called? Photoshop has more, is usually more visually appealing than many of all these other softwares. From my own experience, though, some people might argue it, but from my own experience, when you are working with Photoshop, things usually look sweeter, right? So that's just the this thing. So you should not give yourself headache over that. Just take it from Illustrator, take it to Photoshop, and do your presentation there. Apply colors to it, apply whatever you want to apply to it, and export it. But if you need that particular large format size or expandable size, because once you take something to Corel to Photoshop and you export it in Photoshop, it's going to remain that size that you used to export it in Photoshop, right? But the one that you export in Illustrator can still be, depending on the this thing you use. Oh, if you use PNG or JPEG, it's going to become raster. It's not going to be vector anymore. It's going to become raster. But if you use ESP, it's still going to be vector. So that's just it. So you know that if it's something that needs to be used in a large format space or anywhere that requires that ESP5 format, you have to export it as ESP, right? You have to export it as ESP. Or what you can also do is create a different this thing. What's it called? Create another what's it called in Illustrator. Create a new document in Illustrator and set your default color mode to RGB, right? And then copy that particular mark or the logo, copy it into that same document and use and change the color there, so that you'll be able to render it with colors too. You'll be able to render it with colors too for screen. But if it's not for screen, if it's for print, you don't need RGB, you need CMYK for it. But if it is for screen, you need RGB for it. So you can just create a new document, set your color profile to RGB, copy this thing, copy your project from one document to another document and change the color and export it. It's that simple. Hope that was helpful.
Yes, yes, I get it right now. Though actually, I was just thinking maybe I could just do the color there
Yeah, you
because
can
the
do
last
it.
one I
You
did.
can do it though, but I
Yes,
don't
I
I
know.
don't think I want
Like
to go into that right now. I might
yes,
need to show
I know.
you
Okay.
I might need to show you the Illustrator software and everything and start. So I don't think I want to go into that right now. So I'm just giving you other ways to do it that might not require you going into deep whatever. Yeah. But you can as well to search for it on Google or on YouTube, shall you can still get it. Yeah, definitely. But if you don't have time, just use one of the techniques I show you. Yeah. I explain to you rather. So does anybody else have a question? How far have we come now? What's the time?
Yes, sir. It's
Okay.
10:50 p.m., sir.
It's about 2 hours now.
Maybe one or two more questions and we'll call it a night.
Okay, sir. So my question now, these all these pro designers, like Like in NGD now, I can use Ajala Victor as an example. Now, in most of these cases, hello, can anybody hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So in most of these cases, the most times when I look at the logo he designs, they are not really the marks he is adding. They are not really related to, like, he might use a curve and say, okay, this is a curve for the sun. Let's not even use a curve. He might use a very straight line and say this represents a table. So what I'm asking is, does it mean that we can use any mark or symbol to represent anything at all we are trying to relate to the customers or to the clients? Can we use any mark? Like in his case where he use, let's just say he use a line and say this represents a table. So is that acceptable? Like I don't know. Because even sometimes there was a coding logo he did for a tech company that writes code. He used a bracket and I was like, okay, so though I know that bracket is among programming, but I guess you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
Like
I
those
get what
marks,
you're
those
saying.
abstract marks, and that are not even related to what the brand is about. So those marks now, is it that we can use any mark, or they have a way of selecting those marks to use?
Okay, so basically, you see, a logo, I've said it countless times that a logo is not for communication. A logo is for identification. And I learned that from Sagi Aviv, right? A logo is not for communication. A logo is a tool for identification and not for communication. So basically, what those marks are supposed to do, supposed to be something that someone can just see and be able to recognize, and they will be able to tie it to that brand. Take for instance, Apple. What does Apple have to do with iPhone and laptop, right? Someone will be like, what does it have to do with iPhone and laptop? But when you see Apple today, that is what you think of. So the thing is this, it's about understanding the story of a brand, the personality of a brand, and what that brand represents. How how can you represent that brand in a way that is not very conspicuous? So when they now bring out a particular mark, something that can resonate with people easily, and then they find how to tie that mark to the brand, right? How to connect the brand. How does this mark connect with the brand? That is what they will have to find. Or they tell the story in their own way. However, what's it called? In the situation of Apple, Apple is very, very extreme. That both the name and the logo is very, very extreme compared to what they do. However, they were s- you know they were able to successfully create that story behind that mark and that name, that people don't think of it. When you hear Apple, you literally don't really think of fruits like that, right? What you think of is the brand and what the brand represents. The same thing goes for the Nike switch. What does that what does that switch, that mark symbol, what does it have to do with footwears and the likes? It literally has nothing to do with it, but some way they have been able to tie a story to it, right? They have been able to tie a story to it. So basically, what Ajala Victor does in most of his works basically is he tries to find a way, the most, what's it called? There's something called, um when we are creating designs, the best of design does not come from finding what to add, right? Those who are not very good at design, what they are always looking for is design is, okay, what else can we add to this? But a good designer is usually looking for, okay, what else can we take out of this and still make it functional and still make it useful? What can we take out of it? What can we still take out of this? Right? That is the idea of simplicity and what's it called? And what's it called? And longevity, right? It will allow that thing to last longer, and it will make it a little bit more, it will make it more timeless than if everything is good up, just put different things that are not necessary, right? So basically he tried to look for, he's trying to eliminate everything that is not necessary, right? Everything that is unnecessary. That is basically what they try to eliminate out of the whole thing. Like, okay, what is not necessary? Okay, it might be part of the whole thing, but is it necessary? Right? If we take it out, does it affect what we are trying to communicate? If it does not affect what you are trying to communicate when you take it out, take it out. So that is the idea. But the problem is that many designers face is, how do you communicate this to the client? How do you make the client see what you are saying? Right? So that secret is inside the process, right? I shared I shared that process in one of our previous this thing. If you go into that design chat community, when you go to the description, you are going to see a link to our previous classes. When you click on it, you will see the my 6 steps logo design process. I remember the day we did that episode, I lost we lost the recording of that class. I had to re-record, I had to remake that class that same night. I did not sleep from night till the next morning. I remember, if you watch that video, you see that from night everywhere was very very dark till the next morning, and everywhere was bright. I made that video from night to the next morning because I wanted you guys to get that information. It is my own personal 6 step logo design process that I have developed after I have tried so many different processes, and I've been able to reverse engineer those processes to develop my own unique process out of it. If you can follow that process, it's not going to be hard for you to communicate your idea or to help your clients see what you are seeing, right? They will be able to understand why you make the decisions you make and how it's going to help them. So basically, the reason you will see designers bringing out very simple designs, and their clients and the clients are accepting it from them, is because there is a process that allows the clients to understand the idea behind what they are presenting, behind what they are bringing, and how that is going to help them solve their problem. So basically, that is yeah, that is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate.
You're
Like
welcome.
this class today, like the class was meant for me. It has really made me know a lot of stuff I didn't know about before. And I'm pretty sure this night I won't sleep as well. I'll run back to that class and go and watch it.
All right,
Thank you
all
very much,
right.
sir.
Very good one. You're welcome. So one last question. Do you still have any other question? Abi, we should just call it a night. Okay. I think that is calling it a night. So guys,
So,
till
guys,
we meet again.
till we meet again. All
Uh
right. Thank you, boss.
bye for now.
Bye for now. All right. Thank you, boss.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.